Rebecca works in a large international company. One day, she comes back to the office from lunch and finds her colleagues extremely agitated. They hurry to tell the girl that someone knocked their HR manager out just an hour ago. The police have 3 suspects. Laura is an applicant. She says she was a bit angry with the HR manager. After all, he made her wait for ages, well past the time of her appointment. She stayed outside in the rain and probably caught a cold. And still, Laura says, I would never hit him. Plus, I'm too weak to do it. Gary, who works in the marketing department, claims he hasn't seen the HR manager since he arrived at work. He was having a meeting from the very morning till lunchtime. Jacob, from research and development, tells the police he rode his bike to a coffee shop to get his cappuccino. He's just come back. Who knocked the HR manager out? It was Jacob. Both his bike and his clothes are dry and clean. How is it possible if it's raining outside? Jack is participating in a challenge. He's got to the last stage, which takes place in a desert. If he succeeds now, he'll win $1 million. Jack needs to get a key out of one of the 4 pots. On top of the first pot, there's a bowl filled with a strong acid. The second pot is covered with a bowl full of venomous spiders. In the bowl placed on the third pot, Jack sees a raging fire. A viper is curled up in the bowl covering the fourth pot. Jack isn't allowed to drop the bowls or turn them over. Which pot should he choose? The guy should choose the third bowl. He can put the fire out with the sand and get the key. Jacob is the owner of a small IT company. Larry is his subordinate, exceptionally talented and just as forgetful. More often than not, he seems to be lost in his head. Such things as going on a trip out of the blue without notifying anybody is typical for this genius. Normally, the boss turns a blind eye to Larry's quirks. But this time, an important business meeting is about to start. Jacob needs the data Larry has been working on, but the guy is nowhere to be found. He doesn't answer his phone, so no one can reach him. 1 hour before the meeting has to begin, Jacob can't wait any longer. He switches on Larry's computer, but it's password locked. The man tries some random combination of letters and numbers, but of course it's wrong. Suddenly, a tiny window appears on the screen. In this window, Jacob sees what seems to be a riddle. Little, late, late. After puzzling over it for a while, the man types something in the window and sees the home screen. The computer is unlocked. What has Jacob written? The answer to this rebus is too little, too late. Unfortunately, it's not as simple as that. The folder with the needed data is also protected by a password. When Jacob clicks on it, that's what he sees. Write backward all the numbers. Sounds like a tough task. Luckily, Jacob knows how Larry's brain works. He doesn't need much information to write the correct answer and, finally, get the information. What is the password? And there you have it. That's the phrase, all the numbers written backward. Camilla was terrified of dogs. One day she was jogging in the park and noticed a large dog sitting near the bench. It looked unfriendly. The leash attached to the dog's collar was 3 feet long. Camilla decided it would be safe to pass by if there was at least 7 feet of space between her and the pooch. But even being on a leash, the dog still managed to bite her. How come? Sadly, the leash wasn't tied to anything. David's company develops new apps for smartphones. Right now, he's looking for a designer. He's got hundreds of applicants, but has chosen just 3 of them. Angela's resume says, "I'm 23 years old. I don't have a lot of experience, but I'm a fast learner and have already designed similar applications." Helen wrote in her resume, "I'm 26 and have 4 years of work experience. You should hire me because I've created lots of TikTok stories that have gone viral." And Eric's resume claims he's 28 years old with 7 years of work experience. He's designed tons of apps. He's been working for Google since the company was launched. David can hire only one person, but it's okay because only one applicant hasn't lied in their resume. Who is it? Eric has just 7 years of work experience, but Google was officially launched in 1998. There are no stories on TikTok, meaning Helen couldn't create them. David hired Angela. Even though she hasn't been working that long, she's honest and has a nice portfolio. Kevin, a security guard in an amusement park, finds a boy standing near a roller coaster. The kid says his name's Nick. He doesn't know where his dad is. Kevin takes Nick to his office and makes an announcement. Soon after that, 2 men show up at the door. The first exclaims, "We were in a cafe, but after eating my burger, I felt so sick I had to spend almost 20 minutes in the bathroom. When I got out, Nick wasn't around. I was so worried." The other man interrupts him. "We rode a roller coaster together. Then I told Nick to wait there and went to get us some hot dogs." Which man is Nick's father? Nick is too small to ride the roller coaster, which means the second man is lying. The boy's dad is the unlucky guy with food poisoning. Aiden fell madly in love with a beautiful girl, Ella. He tried to spend all his time with her. The man bought her expensive presents and flowers, invited her to the best restaurants, organized yacht trips. They traveled the world, stayed in famous hotels, and went shopping for designer clothes. In less than a year, Aiden became a millionaire. How is it possible? Well, before meeting Ella, the guy was a billionaire. Carter had a fast and successfully developing company until his main investor went bankrupt. Carter was desperate. He went to visit his best friend Justin, a coffee shop owner. "Cheer up," Justin exclaimed. "One rich businessman visits my cafe almost every day. He's here today, too. He's very mysterious and doesn't have any social media accounts. Few people know about his wealth, but I do. Go and introduce yourself." Justin pointed toward the back of the coffee shop. Carter went there and saw 3 men. Uh-oh. He hadn't asked his friend which one was the wealthy entrepreneur. He looked at the men attentively. In no time, he figured out who was the one he needed. It isn't the guy in the middle. He has a $1 store bag. The one on the right could be rich, but he's recording an Instagram story. And the businessman isn't active on any social media. This means the man Carter needs is on the left. Carter was right. The guy turned out to be a billionaire. He was impressed with Carter's business, but before signing the papers, he mentioned one condition. Carter had to prove he was prepared for all kinds of stressful situations. The man had nothing to do but agree to the challenge. After that, Carter was taken to a remote house and left alone. He was locked in a large room with no windows and 3 doors. Suddenly, the ceiling started to go down. At the same time, the room began to fill with water. Carter knew that behind the first door there was a powerful whirlpool that would take him under the surface in no time. The second door was hiding a school of vicious piranhas. And behind the third one, there was a deep pit with sharp wooden spikes at the bottom. Which door should Carter choose to save his life? Carter picked the third door. Once the pit filled with water, he swam over the spikes and successfully escaped from the trap. When he returned to the office, the billionaire had already signed the contract. 3 friends agreed to hang out together on Friday night. One of them, Brian, was tasked with bringing pizza. But the guy was running extremely late. His friends were starving. Strangely, Brian wasn't picking up their calls. But in an hour or so, he sent them a selfie. In the photo, he was standing next to his car. In the following message, he wrote he had run out of gas. He was at a gas station, tanking his car up. But his friends didn't believe Brian's excuses. Why? In the picture, it's clearly seen the guy's got an electric car. It doesn't need gas. When it was finally time to board the plane, it turned out that there were no more economy class seats left. Kim and Ashley were offered to fly in business class.
Oh, yes.
There, the girls saw 3 people. When the flight attendant served them fresh juice, she whispered that Kim and Ashley were extremely lucky. They were about to travel next to a famous Italian billionaire.
Oh.
Can you guess which of these passengers is the billionaire? This glamorous lady is a good candidate, but it's very unlikely a billionaire would wear a 100% polyester coat. This guy's business suit is very elegant, but look at his shoes. They seem quite cheap and worn out. This funny gentleman must be the real billionaire. Although his outfit is rather casual, his gold watch looks very expensive. The glamorous lady began to chat with Kim and Ashley. She told them she had recently visited an exotic island with her friends. Then she showed the girls some pictures. When the lady went to the restroom, Ashley whispered to Kim, "This woman is a liar. She photoshopped this picture."
Oh.
How did Ashley know that? It's all about the shadows. They all look natural, except this one. People are sitting in their seats. The lights turn off. Someone is chewing popcorn. Someone is drinking soda. The movie starts. This is a horror movie. Someone screams. The ticket taker enters the hall. Several people haven't paid for their tickets. Guess who? No one has a ticket here. Free entrance, the note pinned to the back door claims. Once, on a cold winter night, someone stole jewelry from a famous singer's house. The thief didn't manage to run far away because a police car was passing by. The burglar hid the bag with the jewelry in the snow and disappeared into the crowd. Detective Anderson managed to catch 2 suspects. Look at them and try to guess who robbed the singer. If you dig snow with your bare hands, they will turn red. This man has red fingers and palms. But that woman could dig snow wearing a pair of gloves, so she could be the thief too. But she wouldn't be able to run in such high heels. After the meeting, Zoe unboxed a delivery from a popular writer. He sent Zoe his new masterpiece in secret. Zoe didn't say anything about this to her colleagues. But one of them was actually trying to steal the script. Can you guess who this person is? It's the assistant. He's using his front camera to take pictures of the mirrored ceiling while Zoe is looking through the script. You're walking along the beach. Suddenly, you hear a scream. A woman is calling for help. She's drowning. You run into the water and swim toward her. As soon as you approach her, you see 3 more people. They're all screaming, but only one of them needs help. The rest are mer people who want to take you to their kingdom. How can you find out which one is human? Dive under the water to see who has a fishtail. Richard likes abandoned buildings and old castles. Today, he's going to check a huge house that belonged to a vampire a long time ago. Well, that's what the legends say. Richard certainly doesn't believe this. He takes his camera and sets off. It's dark and cold inside the house. Crackling sounds are coming from the corridor. Richard shines a flashlight and sees 3 vampires. Richard starts running away, but then he stops and returns. It seems these vampires are fake. How did the guy understand this? There's a mirror on the ceiling above the first vampire, and he gets reflected there. The second vampire has no fangs. The third one? Uh-oh, he seems to be real. Better run. Now, Richard wants to visit an abandoned hospital. There are rumors that werewolves live there. Richard is sure it's a myth. He's walking around dark hospital wards all night, but finds nothing. He's about to leave, but 4 men block the exit. They are howling and growling. Which of them is the real werewolf? No one. The full moon is shining through the windows, but these people haven't turned into monsters. But still, Richard runs away. It seems these guys are really crazy. A rich man comes to an exhibition of modern art. He's going to buy a new painting for his collection. The owner of the exhibition shows him 3 works of different artists. In the first picture, there's a green triangle with a sunflower in the middle. The second painting is of a tiger taking a selfie on its phone. In the third picture, there's a flying house. The collector is sure that one of the paintings is fake. Which one? Each canvas has the artist's signature and the date when it was created. The painting with the tiger is dated 1957. There were no mobile phones and selfies at that time. This picture is fake. Martin's nervous because today is his first DJ performance at an electronic music festival. He goes on the stage. The crowd is cheering. Martin puts his headphones on and turns on the first track. Music is playing, but people aren't dancing. Why? The music is only playing in the DJ's headphones. Martin hasn't connected the wire to the speakers, see? Jack is walking through an ancient, abandoned city in the desert. Treasure is hidden somewhere here. Jack checks the map and finds the right place. He starts digging. 6 hours later, exhausted, he hits something with a shovel. It's a chest. Jack pulls it out of the ground, rips off the rusty lock, and opens it. The chest is filled with ancient gold coins. Each of them costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now Jack is incredibly rich. But he shouldn't be happy because all the coins are fake. Why is that? Each coin has a date, 145 BCE. It seems they're really old, but people who lived at that time couldn't write BCE on their coins because they didn't know they lived before the current era. A university professor enters a lecture hall where his colleague, an elderly teacher, is giving a lecture on quantum physics. He's drawing formulas on the board, and his students are using their laptops to take notes. The professor knows that one of these students is sleeping. He starts walking around the room, stopping behind each of them in turn. Who's dreaming right now? Almost all of the students are writing the formulas down in their laptops, except that one. His screen is off. That's because he's fallen asleep. Detective Anderson is chasing a robber dressed in a tuxedo. Suddenly, the criminal runs inside a huge hall. All the people there are formally dressed. Help Detective Anderson find the suspect among them. Catch that guy. He's sweating because he's been running. Leo's boss yelled at the guy because he hadn't completed his weekly work plan. Now, Leo has to spend his entire weekend in the office finishing his work. The boss took Leo's magnetic card so that he couldn't leave the building. Several hours had passed. Leo feels hungry. There's no water or food in the office, but there's a fridge and cooler in the next room behind the door with a magnetic lock. On Monday, Leo gives his boss the completed report. Somehow, the guy managed to get food and water. How did he do it? Leo just went to the refrigerator and got himself some food. No one said the door with a magnetic lock had been locked. Victoria approaches her house. The light bulb turns on automatically and lights her way to the door. Victoria inserts the key and goes inside. A couple of hours later, the doorbell rings. She looks through the peephole and sees a silhouette of a man wearing a hat. Victoria is afraid to open the door, but not because it's a stranger, but because it's not a human. Why does she think that? The light sensor didn't work, so there's no physical body outside. There's a huge airplane hangar on the edge of the desert. Pilot Tyler steps inside and notices a cat sleeping near the ceiling on one of the beams. Tyler decides to save it. There are no stairs and nothing else that can be used to get there. The only thing Tyler sees is a large puddle of water on the floor. How did the cat get there? There was a pyramid of ice cubes. The cat climbed to the top of it and reached the ceiling. Then the ice melted and left the puddle. Gee, I guess I won't mention my theory about the cat drinking so much water to the point of bursting, which then propels the cat up in the air and, well, let's stick with the ice cubes. Margaret, Rachel, and Diana are walking down the street, sharing their plans for the weekend. The girls look rich, but only one of them has a lot of money. Who is it? It's Margaret. You can notice the key to a Ferrari in her bag. Rachel had been dreaming of becoming a famous actress. Finally, her dream was about to come true. A famed talent agency had invited Rachel for an interview. She arrived at the office to meet her new agent early in the morning.
Hello.
There were 4 people in the conference room. Can you tell which one is Rachel's agent? This guy is the only person who doesn't have an employee badge, so he's probably a guest too. This man is wearing a classy, expensive suit, but he brought coffee for everyone. He's an assistant. This lady's mug says "World's Best Lawyer," so she's probably responsible for legal issues. And this relaxed lady over there is Rachel's agent, Zoe. Zoe offered Rachel to take a seat. Which place should Rachel choose? This chair is missing one leg. Someone has spilled coffee on this chair. It has written "The Boss" on the drink in this cup and left it on the table next to this chair. And someone has left a sweater on this chair. So Rachel has only one option. Here it is.
Hey! In this video, I'll show you fast food logos, and your task will be to recognize them. Sound good? Let's go! You'll get 1 point for each correct answer. Keep track of your score. At first, you'll see 2 logos. One is real and one is fake. You have to find the real one. Let's start out easy. Where is the real Subway logo? It's this one right here. Now, do you see the one and only Burger King logo? It's the one on the right. Next up, Taco Bell. What's your call? Here it is. Donut King logo. Which one is it? This one, of course. Okay, Pizza Hut. Where is the real one? It's the left one. Sonic Drive-In. You've got it. That's the one. Everyone's favorite ice cream, Baskin-Robbins. Here it is. Tell me which one is Chipotle's real logo. It's this one. And now it's A&W's turn. Pick the left one. Menchie's frozen yogurt. What's the logo? It's the right one. What about Boost Juices? Where is the correct logo? Right here. Thoughts on Whataburger? This is the one. A bit harder to figure out, but I believe in you. Jamba Juice. Here it is. What about Taco Cabana? This one, of course. Sbarro, what do you think? What's the correct logo? It's the left one. Next up, Taco Tico. What do you say? Yeah, this one. Try to find the Pollo Tropical logo now. Now that's the one. Back to ice cream. Where's the Cold Rock Ice Creamery logo? Here's the original one. Do you see the correct Baja Fresh logo? Pick the left one. Tutti Frutti Frozen Yogurt. What's the correct fruit arrangement on the logo? Here's the right one. Find the Arby's logo. It's the one on the right. Another one for you, the Cheesecake Factory. Which one? Here it is. Will you know what the right logo for Golden Corral is? This one, did you get it? Next up, Papa Gino's. What's your choice? It's the left one. Now pick the correct Bojangles logo. That's the one. Let's change the task a bit. No right or wrong. I'll show you a logo and you have to remember which company it is. They are all about fast food and restaurants too. Let's start way too easy again. Hit it. McDonald's, of course. What are your thoughts? What is this logo? That's IHOP. Another easy one for you. Hit it. Dunkin' Donuts. What do you think about this one? Cold Stone. What about this chicken? Where does it belong? Nando's. Can you recognize this one? It wasn't too hard. White Castle. What about this frame? It's a very famous place. Papa John's. What about this one? I bet you know it. Dairy Queen. Another one for you. What do you say? Del Taco. Do you know where this smiling star comes from? Of course, it's Hardee's, or Carl's Jr., depending on which state you're in. Here comes the apple. You know it. Applebee's. Let's make it a bit more complicated for you. What is this brand? Panera Bread. Okay, what about this one? Jack in the Box. Good. Next up, this one. That's Fazoli's. Did you get it right? Now, try to focus and tell me what you think. That's Fat Burger. It's getting harder. No more McDonald's for you. What is this one? Wingstop. Bingo! What do you say here? Long John Silver's. It might be hard to recognize, but you definitely know it. What is it? TGI Fridays, of course. Another frame for you to figure out. I didn't promise it would be easy. That's Cinnabon. Do you think you know this logo? El Pollo Loco. What about this one? Roy Rogers. Another one for you. What are your thoughts? It's Johnny Rockets. We're almost through this task, just 3 more. What about this one? It's Denny's. Do you think you know this logo? It's Captain D's Seafood. Last one for this task. What's your call? If you said Firehouse Subs, you're right. Level Up, a new task. I'll show you just parts of a logo, and you have to guess the brand. Don't worry, we'll start with easy ones again. Look, here's one you definitely know. Wendy's, of course. See, not that hard. Yet. What about this one? That's Starbucks coffee. You're nailing it. Another one for you to recognize. KFC, of course. Do you recognize this face? It's Big Boy. Another cute face for you to remember. I bet you can figure it out. It's Bubba Gump. This one's easy. Hit it. Domino's Pizza, obviously. What's your guess here? That's Chuck E. Cheese. What does this stand for? Any thoughts? In-N-Out Burger. Quite simple. What do you say? This is Panda Express, that famous Chinese food chain. Concentrate and you can guess it. It's the Red Rooster. What's your best guess here? Little Caesars. What about this cactus? Where is it from? That's Qdoba. And what about this guy? Can you recognize him? Hog's Breath Cafe. Think carefully. Can you drag out this piece out of your memory? Orange Julius. What's this one, in your opinion? Yogurtland. It wasn't too hard, was it? Moving on. What's this supposed to be? Chick-fil-A. What do you think this is? Auntie Anne's. Another cactus, just a different one. Where is this one from? Must be something Mexican if you ask me. Taco time. What about this one? That's Hooters. Do you recognize this curl? Pinkberry. Any ideas here? Waffle House. Did you get it? The game is getting harder again. What do you think this is? Buffalo Wild Wings. Another part of a logo for you to recognize. What's your call? Zaxby's. Where is this pretty branch from? It's Olive Garden. Here comes the most impossible of all tasks. Feel free to take all the time you need and add 10 points to yourself if you get it right. What is it? Five Guys Burgers and Fries. So, what's your score? Let me know in the comments.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
Nellie is approaching a picturesque field. She's carrying a package. If she doesn't manage to open it before reaching the field, she won't survive. Can you guess what's in the package? Nellie is skydiving. There's a parachute in her package. After a safe landing, Nellie decides to take a walk in a sunflower field. Can you help her spot 3 odd things about this area? This straw man is winking. This sunflower has teeth, and there are 2 suns in the sky. Nellie walks too far and gets lost in the woods. She wanders around for a while and meets 4 guys sitting on one big tree. Can you help her rank them in order of foolishness? The 4th person is cutting the branch where he sits. So, he's the silliest. The first person is sitting on the branch that will soon be cut by the second guy. So the first person is the second most foolish. The second person doesn't see that he's about to fall too, so he's the third. And finally, the third guy. He's a bad person, but definitely not a stupid one. Nellie moves on and finds a highway. 3 people offer to give her a ride to the nearest town. Can you help Nellie choose the safest driver? Take a look at this guy's car. Its tires are flat, and there's a puddle of engine oil spilled out of the car. Probably not the safest choice. This beautiful lady and her car are both translucent because they're ghosts. As for this gloomy trucker, he looks pretty reliable.
Yeah.
Nellie enters a local coffee shop and meets 2 ladies. Both ladies tell her that they are daughters of a famous billionaire. Can you guess who's lying? The lady on the right is a liar. The logo on her t-shirt is fake. Therefore, she's not rich. Nellie doesn't have any money to buy food. The coffee shop manager feels sorry for her and offers Nellie a free lunch. But first, she has to solve his tricky riddle. Nellie agrees. Here's the task.
People have stepped on me, but not many. I never stay full for long. I have a dark side. What am I?
Can you help Nellie win her free food? The correct answer is the moon. Nellie is eating and looking through the pictures hanging on the wall. Suddenly, she sees something weird. Can you spot any odd details too? This person appears in both pictures, looking young and pretty. But the time distance between these two photos is 100 years. Nellie enters a flower shop and sees the owner putting bouquets in big vases. If he puts one bouquet per vase, he will end up with one extra bouquet. And if he puts 2 bouquets per vase, he will end up with 1 extra vase. How many vases and bouquets does he have? He has 3 vases and 4 bouquets. The flower shop owner offers Nellie a job. He has just received a delivery. There are 3 boxes labeled red roses, white roses, and red and white roses. Each box is labeled incorrectly. Nellie has just one chance to pick up a flower from any box and then label the boxes correctly. Can you help her accomplish this task? Nellie should take a flower from the box labeled as red and white roses. Since they're labeled incorrectly, this box should contain either red roses only or white roses only. Let's suppose that Nellie finds the red roses. Now she can label this box correctly. We know that the white box cannot have white roses. Therefore, now Nellie can label the remaining 2 boxes correctly. After earning some cash, Nellie decides to book a room in the local hotel to get some rest. The manager offers her to choose from 3 empty rooms. Can you help Nellie pick the best option? There are cracks in the window glass in the first room. Very unsafe. And there's a zombie hiding under the bed in the third room. So, Nellie should choose the second one. Nellie locks herself in the room. She opens the window and stands nearby, breathing fresh air. Suddenly, she throws something out of the window. Nellie passes out very soon after doing that. That's a mystery because she's perfectly healthy and nobody did anything to her because the door is locked. Can you find any logical explanation for what happened here? Nellie decided to throw a boomerang out of the window. The boomerang went to the maximum distance and returned back straight to her head. After a while, Nellie wakes up with a headache. She goes to the local shop to buy some aspirin. She spots 3 odd things about this place. Can you see them too? There's corn on the shelf along with napkins and toilet paper. The announcement offers an 800% discount. That's too good to be true. And finally, the shopkeeper is wearing 2 pairs of glasses. Suddenly, the shopkeeper begins to yell, "Someone stole my money!" And he locks the customers inside the shop and calls the police. They arrive and question 4 suspects. Maya says, "I came here to buy water for my 12 o'clock yoga class. I'm 20 minutes late because of you." Bob says, "What's the point of stealing cash? Everyone knows that people use cards nowadays." Lily says, "This shopkeeper is a bad person. He deserved that." And Nellie replies, "Sorry, I was focusing on my own purchase. I didn't see anything suspicious." After hearing that the officers had arrested one person, can you guess who? Maya, take a look at the clock on the wall. It's only 10 a.m. She's not late, therefore she's lying. Nellie is walking down the street. She sees a cozy garage sale organized by Miss Green. The fixed price for any item is only $1. Amy buys an old dress. Phil takes this beautiful antique vase, and Vivienne purchases a shabby vintage suitcase. Nellie comes over to Miss Green and says,
Oh,
"Madam, you've just sold an expensive thing for a song."
what?
What does she mean? Can you guess? Vivienne lifts this suitcase quite easily, so it's probably empty. And besides, it has holes in the bottom. Therefore, it can't be precious. This vase isn't antique. It has a sticker from a dollar store. Although this dress is dirty and torn, it has a large, expensive brooch pinned to it, so many gemstones can't cost just $1. Nellie asks Miss Green if she can use her bathroom. Miss Green says,
Sure, it's at the end of the corridor.
Nellie is walking down the corridor and confuses the doors. Nellie ends up in this messy kitchen. The door won't open. Can you help Nellie find a key? It's in the teapot. And Miss Green enters the kitchen and tells Nellie,
I'm a witch, young lady, and I'm going to give you a gift if you manage to solve my riddle.
Oh, yes.
Nellie agrees. Here's the task.
It starts with T, it ends with T, and it's full of tea. What is it?
Can you solve this mystery? The correct answer is a teapot again. Miss Green brings Nellie to her dusty basement and says,
One of these 3 doors leads to a magical world, and the other 2 are fake. You have only one attempt to choose the correct door. Good luck.
Oh, yeah.
Can you help Nellie out? She should choose the 3rd door. Take a look at the floor. Dusty footprints lead to the 3rd door only, which means that doors 1 and 2 are fake. Nellie opens the 3rd door and enters an enchanted forest. There are 4 ways to cross it, but all 4 passages are pretty dangerous. A hungry dragon is waiting for her on the 1st route. A massive fire is burning all over the 2nd path. And the 3rd path is basically a windowless tunnel. And the 4th passage is full of scorpions and snakes. Can you help Nellie choose the right path? She should pick the 3rd way. The tunnel doesn't have windows. But who said it doesn't have an exit? Nellie walks the tunnel and finds herself in a beautiful castle. The guard says, "This castle is yours if you manage to crack my riddle. I can fill a room, but I take up no space. What am I?" Can you help Nellie win the castle? The correct answer is light.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side. Let's see if you know cars well. Starting with logos, I'll show you 2, and you'll have to find the correct one. I'm starting with something too easy. Alright, what's the correct Audi logo? This one, of course. Toyota is the best-selling car brand in the world. Can you find the right logo? Yes, of course, it's this one. Let's move to Ford. Where is it? Yep, it's this one on the right. Next up, Volvo. What's your call? Yes, it's this one. Moving on, BMW. By the way, the logo depicts the flag of the German state Bavaria, the home state of BMW cars. So, which one is it? Ah, it's this one. Lexus cars have only been around for 33 years. The brand was founded in 1989. Did you have enough time to learn the logo? Here it is. Now, initially, the Peugeot company was founded as a coffee mill back in 1810. Since 1886, they have been making cars that don't smell like coffee. So, what's the correct logo? That's the one. Now they're prestige, but the first Lamborghini models were tractors. Anyways, what's the logo? Here it is. Fiat is an acronym for this Italian phrase, which, when translated, means Italian Automobile Factory Turin. Turin is an Italian city. So, what's the correct logo? That's the one. Tesla is even younger than Lexus. It was founded in 2003. What's the logo? It's this one. Now, can you find the correct logo of Alfa Romeo? Yeah, here it is. What about Dodge? Can you recognize it? It's right here. Ford founded the Mercury brand, and it's 83 years old. It's not the most well-known car brand, but can you find the correct logo? It's this one. Now, I'll give you two real logos, and you have to tell me which one is the one I ask you about. For example, here, which logo is the Hyundai logo? It's this one on the left. The one on the right is Honda. Here are two more. Which is the Chevrolet logo? It's the one on the right. The left one is Citroën. Which one here is Renault's logo? The right one. The left one is Mazda. Now, which one is Subaru, left or right? It's the left one. The right one is Suzuki. Next up, Mitsubishi. Which one is that? The left one. The right one is Opel. Daewoo is a South Korean brand. Which one is it here? It's the right one. The left one is Infiniti, a luxury division of Nissan. Okay, another pair, and your task is to find Cadillac. Is it left or right? It's the right one, and the left one is, of course, Porsche. Now the task will be a bit harder. I will show you the cars, and you have to guess which brand it is. Let's start with this one. What do you think? That's Lamborghini. Yeah, I told you they were making tractors. Okay, let's go for something simpler, like this one. For example, I bet you know it. That's a Tesla, of course. Okay, another easy one. What's your guess? That's a Jeep. Can you recognize this one? Of course, it's a Volkswagen Beetle. Okay, here's a new one. Quite famous, you must know this brand. It's a Bentley. I have two of those. No. The most common car brand in the world. Which one? Yeah, that's a Toyota. Next up, what's your call? That's Mercedes. Quite fancy. What car brand do you think it is? That's a Land Rover. That's the world's most expensive car in the world. So, what do you think? That's a Ferrari, particularly a 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO. It costs $70 million, not counting the gas you'll need. Okay, now I'll show you some logos, and your task is to guess the car brand. Easy? Let's go. Starting with this one. What is it? Skoda. It's a Czech brand. Okay, I'm pretty sure you know this one too. What brand is it? That's Nissan. Okay, now off to more expensive cars. Do you know this one? That's Rolls-Royce. Do you know this one? It's Italian. This is a Maserati logo. Vroom, vroom. That's a luxury Honda. What's your guess? Ah, Acura. Okay, here's a cutie. You for sure know it. Of course, that's a Mini Cooper. A British sports car. Do you know this brand? That's Aston Martin. Another easy one for you. We talked about it today. Yeah, that's the most expensive car brand, Ferrari. Oh, an Australian one. Do you know it? That's Holden, and it was founded in 1856, so quite old. That's a tough one, but maybe you know it. What do you think? Daihatsu. It's a Japanese brand. Now, the most hardcore part for real pros. I'll show you cars from the inside, and you have to guess the car brand. Do you think you can manage it? Let's see. Here's the first one. What's your call? That's a regular Toyota. Did you recognize it? Okay, let's see something fancier. What do you think? That's Mercedes-Benz. Okay, next one. Can you guess? That's the interior of Lincoln Aviator. Yeah, I know, it was pretty impossible. I warned you it'd be hard. Try this one. That's my Bentley. I mean, a Bentley. Okay, last one. What's your guess? It's a Jaguar Land Rover.
Take a look at your ears. Aren't they amazing? An average human ear hears frequencies from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. But each person is unique when it comes to the functioning of our sense organs. Some of us struggle to hear neighbors whispering just behind the door. Meanwhile, rare lucky persons have a natural absolute pitch. They can recognize any note in any octave. We suggest you take these cool hearing tests that will help reveal your hidden hearing superpowers.
Yes!
First of all, let's check where you're currently standing in the frequency spectrum. Put on your headphones and make sure you're in a quiet place with no background noises. If you're surrounded by people, ask them to stay quiet for the next minute. We'll travel across and beyond the human audio spectrum and play some sound frequencies a human ear usually can't perceive. As soon as you notice that your ears begin to hear the sound, stop the video. The number you'll see on the screen is your current result. Ready? Let's go! Great job! Well, are you surprised by the result? If it's higher than average, congratulations! But if not, don't worry. The older people get, the harder it becomes for them to hear high-frequency sounds. This may reduce the ability to hear bird songs and even some consonants like S, H, or F. If the result is very bad, try this test again. Chances are that your headphones can't play the invisible frequencies properly. Or maybe the sound was off at your computer. But if you're perfectly sure that your gadgets are fine, perhaps it would be wise to see a doctor and check your hearing. Now you know your hearing's range. But guess who can hear beyond these limits? Bats, pigeons, elephants, dogs, dolphins, and some other animals. But who do you think is the best listener in the world? Please welcome our champion, a moth. Researchers claim that moths can hear better than anyone else in the world. One study showed that the greater wax moth, also known as Galleria melanella, is capable of hearing frequencies up to 300 kHz. It means that their hearing is 15 times better than humans. And now, let's go ahead and check your potential to develop an absolute musical pitch. This rare superpower is basically the ability of a person to identify or recreate a given musical note without the use of a reference tone. Some of the greatest classical composers, including Beethoven, Chopin, and Mozart, used to have this ability, and it's not so rare in the modern music industry.
Oh yeah.
Studies based on a survey of more than 600 musicians showed that the older people were when they started training, the less likely they were to gain perfect pitch. Meanwhile, the majority of polled musicians who began training by the age of 6 used to have it. And among those who started music classes before the age of 4, some 40% had perfect pitch. Also, you're more likely to develop this ability if at least one of your relatives has it. So, are you ready to challenge your ears? You're gonna need to put on your earphones once again. Take a deep breath and don't forget to count the right answers. Here's a small version of a classic piano keyboard. Let's go ahead and refresh your memory. This is what the 12 notes sound like. We'll use this random music to confuse your perception just a little bit. And let's begin the quiz. Try to guess this note. Well, any ideas? It was G. What about this note? C. Focus your ears and let's listen to the next one. Well, it was A. What about this sound? Can you guess it? F. Let's go ahead and recognize this note. A once again. And what can you say about this one? That was F sharp. Here's the next sound. Can you guess the note? B. Any idea what it might be? A sharp, also known as B flat. Next sound. Can you spot the note? C flat. Can you identify this one? G again. Well done. If you've guessed more than 7 notes correctly, maybe it's time for you to run to the nearest musical school and become a famous musician before it's too late. Meanwhile, if your result is between 3 and 6 notes, your musical ear is still quite good. And if you didn't guess a single note, don't be upset. Regular training gets water from a flint. Our next test will reveal both your hearing skills and your knowledge of musical instruments. This game is very easy. Listen to the audio carefully and try to guess the instrument. Don't forget to calculate all the correct answers. Here's the first sound playing. Does it seem familiar? What do you say? It's a French horn playing. What about this melody? Sitar. Next audio. Any ideas? Steel pan. What about this one? Acoustic guitar. Great job. Let's go ahead and spot this instrument. It's a flute. Next audio. Does it sound familiar? Ukulele. Let's explore this mysterious sound. It's called the rain stick. Next instrument. Any ideas? Marimba. Here's the next melody. Does it seem familiar? Organ. Next instrument. Does it sound familiar? Cymbal. What about this one? What do you say? Acoustic guitar? Nope, banjo. You should recognize this one right away. Any ideas? Violin. What about this instrument? What do you say? Just kidding, it's the sound of a purring cat. Let's go ahead and investigate this audio. Harmonica. Any idea what this might be? Kazoo. It looks like a funny little whistle. Next instrument. Have you guessed? It's a lute. What about this one? Maybe electric piano? Nope, it's a harp. Next instrument. Any ideas? This beautiful thing is called cabasa. Next audio. Does it sound familiar? It's a clarinet. You're doing great. We're almost at the finish line, so stay focused and let's listen to the next one. It's a bass guitar. Next audio. Does it sound familiar? Piano. What about this instrument? This sound is called throat singing, and it's made by a singer, not by a musical instrument. Next audio. Have you guessed? Castanets. Any idea what this might be? This is the sound of water glasses. And finally, can you spot this instrument? Does it seem familiar? It's an accordion. And now, let's calculate your score. If you've answered all 25 questions correctly, congratulations, you're a genius. If your score is between 17 and 24, well done. Your ears and knowledge are brilliant. You're either involved in the music industry, or you should think about doing so. If you gave from 9 to 16 correct answers, you're doing well. While listening to music, you're probably good at distinguishing the sounds of different instruments. And if you gave less than 9 answers, perhaps it's time to expand your knowledge in this field. You'll be surprised by the variety of musical instruments. In fact, nobody knows for sure the exact number of musical instrument types all over the planet. You can find more than 500 titles in various encyclopedias, but it's far from the actual number. After all, any musical instrument has dozens of different modifications and hundreds of manufacturing variations. To make the process easier, the instruments traditionally fall into one of 6 major categories, depending on the sound source: woodwind, bowed strings, brass, percussion, keyboard, and the guitar family. We're aware that musical instruments have been entertaining people for ages. But what is the oldest musical instrument in the world? So far, this honorary title belongs to the Neanderthal flute. It was made around 60,000 years ago. Contemporary musicians have reconstructed this instrument, and its sound reminds of the modern bamboo flute. But music is not only an entertaining tool, it's also very helpful when you want to relax or focus on your work or studies. The 432 Hz frequency is considered ideal because it resonates with the Schumann resonance of 8 Hz, and it's known for its deeply calming and comforting effects. One study from Italy showed that music tuned to 432 Hz slows down the heart rate when compared to 440 Hz. So be careful with what goes into your ears.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side. The king of one country was holding a feast where he invited all his friends. Guests gathered in the great hall. But before the celebration began, one of the courtiers informed the king that all the drinks were poisoned. The king said nothing and offered everyone to raise a toast to the new millennium. All the guests got up and raised their glasses. That's when the king noticed the villain who had been trying to poison him and other guests. Who is it? The guy over there is holding an empty glass. He knows the drinks are poisoned, so he hasn't poured anything in his glass. Once, on a cold winter night, someone stole jewelry from a famous singer's house. The thief didn't manage to run far away because a police car was passing by. The burglar hid the bag with the jewelry in the snow and disappeared into the crowd. Detective Anderson managed to catch 2 suspects. Look at them and try to guess who robbed the singer. If you dig snow with your bare hands, they will turn red. This man has red fingers and palms. But that woman could dig snow wearing a pair of gloves, so she could be the thief too. But she wouldn't be able to run in such high heels. A university professor enters a lecture hall, where his colleague, an elderly teacher, is giving a lecture on quantum physics. He's drawing formulas on the board, and his students are using their laptops to take notes. The professor knows that one of these students is sleeping. He starts walking around the room, stopping behind each of them in turn. Who's dreaming right now? Almost all the students are writing the formulas down on their laptops, except for that one. His screen is off. That's because he's fallen asleep. Detective Anderson is chasing a robber dressed in a tuxedo. Suddenly, the criminal runs inside a huge hall. All people there are formally dressed. Help Detective Anderson find the suspect among them. Catch that guy. He's sweating because he's been running. Leo's boss yelled at the guy because he hadn't completed his weekly work plan. Now Leo has to spend his entire weekend in the office finishing his work. The boss took Leo's magnetic card so that he couldn't leave the building. Several hours had passed. Leo feels hungry. There's no water or food in the office, but there's a fridge and cooler in the next room, behind the door with a magnetic lock. On Monday, Leo gives his boss the completed report. Somehow, the guy managed to get food and water. How did he do it? Leo just went to the refrigerator and got himself some food. No one said the door with the magnetic lock had been locked. Mike wakes up in the back seat of a racing car. The engine is roaring, the wind is blowing in Mike's face. There's no one at the wheel and a cliff is straight ahead. Michael's hands are tied. He jumps out of the car without hesitation and lands on the asphalt. Surprisingly, he doesn't get a single scratch. How is this possible? The car isn't moving, just its engine is running. Victoria approaches her house. The light bulb turns on automatically and lights her way to the door. Victoria inserts the key and goes inside. A couple of hours later, the doorbell rings. She looks through the peephole and sees a silhouette of a man wearing a hat. Victoria is afraid to open the door, but not because it's a stranger, but because it's not a human. Why does she think that? The light sensor didn't work, so there's no physical body outside. There's a huge airplane hangar on the edge of the desert. Pilot Tyler steps inside and notices a cat sleeping near the ceiling on one of the beams. Tyler decides to save it. There are no stairs and nothing else that can be used to get there. The only thing Tyler sees is a large puddle of water on the floor. So, how did the cat get there? There was a pyramid of ice cubes. The cat climbed to the top of it and reached the ceiling. Then the ice melted and left the puddle. Margaret, Rachel, and Diana are walking down the street, sharing their plans for the weekend. The girls look rich, but only one of them has a lot of money. Who is it? It's Margaret. You can notice the key to a Ferrari in her bag. While leaving her house, Sandy takes her sunglasses out of her bag and accidentally breaks them. Now she needs to buy new ones. Sandy calls a taxi and arrives at the street with fashionable boutiques. The best glasses in the city, the sign on the first building claims. The best glasses in the world is written on the second boutique. The inscription on the third store is the coolest. Sandy heads there. What is written on the third store? The best glasses in this street. Johnny is going through his bills. $50 for electricity, $39 for water, $70 for a bag, $448 for a new phone, $52 for dinner at a restaurant, $589 for a computer, $637 for a room in an expensive hotel. He has received a $978 bonus at work, but he also needs to buy a new fridge for his mom, and it costs $798. John has to leave soon, but he wants to know how much money he'll need. How can he calculate it quickly? He should use the calculator app on his phone. The simplest answer is often the right one. Detective Anderson investigates the case of missing purebred puppies. He has a list of 3 suspects. He visits each of them. The first suspect is a young girl. She says she spent the previous day with her friends. And she's also allergic to dogs. The second suspect is an elderly man. He says he hasn't left the house for the last few days. The third one is a famous video blogger. She says she was making YouTube videos all day. Which of them is lying? The first girl. She says she's allergic to dogs, but there's a bowl and some dog food in her kitchen. Peter works as a top manager at a huge insurance company. Today, his boss ordered him to fire 3 employees. Peter doesn't want to get rid of someone just like that, so he comes up with a test. He invites all 3 candidates for dismissal and asks them to write down why they should stay in the company. The first employee writes that he's helped the company earn $100,000. The second guy reports that he's found 10 new clients, increasing the company's profit by $200,000. Using some illegal schemes, the third employee has earned $300,000 over the past quarter. Who should Peter fire and who should he keep? Actually, he got the order to fire 3 people, remember? The test was pointless. A train finally leaves the station. The conductor starts checking the tickets. 2 passengers, Mickey and Anya, hand him 2 tickets for the same seat. There must be something wrong here, because only one passenger can buy a ticket for a particular seat. The first ticket belongs to Mickey Jones. The seat is 7B. Anya Roy is written on the second ticket. The seat is 7B. Who should sit in this place? Plane ticket, Mickey Jones' document says, and this is the train. The place belongs to Anya. Joe goes to the gym every day. He lifts heavy weights and works with the biggest barbells. He has achieved great results. One day, a skinny guy comes to the gym. He has never done sports in his life. He approaches the heaviest dumbbells and lifts them easily. Joe can't believe his eyes. He's been working for 10 years to begin lifting such weights. How did the newbie manage it? It seems impossible. The new guy is actually a robot. There's a wire connecting him to a wall outlet over there, see? And at the far end of the hall, a man is holding some gadget. He must be controlling the robot. It's snowing. Richard is trying to walk fast, not to freeze. He's leading 3 sheep through a dense forest. Finally, they reach the river. There is a raft near the shore, but it can only transport 1 sheep and 1 person at a time. A wolf is sitting on the other side of the river. If Richard takes his sheep there one by one, the wolf will grab them. The man needs to be near his sheep at all times. But how can he do it? It's winter, and the river is frozen. So let's check scores. 0 to 3 points. You need more practice. But I'm sure you feel motivated now, so you'll be more attentive cracking riddles in the future. 4 to 7 points. Not your best result, but not the worst either. You know what to strive for. 8 to 11 points. Not bad. The main thing now is to sharpen your skills. 12 to 15 points. Congrats! You've got a high score, so you can consider yourself a quick-witted person.
I've prepared an animal test for you. I'll show you a picture, and your task is to say which animal it is. Sounds easy? Let's see. Don't forget to keep score, and in the end, we'll show you how well you did. We'll start with something easy, and then it'll get harder. The first one, this animal. Who is it? What do you think? Of course, it's an elephant. Elephants are the biggest land animals, and their trunks are incredibly sensitive. And Asian elephants can pick up a peanut and even shell it. Next up, this one here. Who is it? This one is for sure a turtle. Did you know that it's not DNA that determines the gender of newborn turtles? It's the temperature in the nest. If the temperature is cool, the hatchlings will be male. If the temperature is warm, the hatchlings will be female. Who do you think this cutie is? It's a penguin. Humans give flowers to their loved ones to show affection and appreciation. But penguins give rocks to each other. Also, penguins can control the blood flow in their feet. That's why they don't freeze. I know you know this one. so shoot your shot. Of course, it's a squirrel. These guys take their food seriously. They can find it beneath a whole foot of snow. Also, they can fake bury a nut to dupe potential thieves. Still, they lose about 25% of their buried food to other squirrels. What about this animal? Do you recognize it? Yes, it's a fox. Did you know they can make around 40 different sounds? Another well-known animal. Who is it? It's a giraffe. Their coat patterns are unique. There are no two giraffes with the same pattern. Also, they only drink once a few days, even when the water is nearby. What is this animal? That's a camel. They can live for weeks without a single drop of water, even more than giraffes. Just for comparison, a human can only last 3 days without water. But when camels do drink, they can drink around 40 gallons in a go. You must know this one well. Who is it? It's a hippo, of course. They really love grass and can eat like 80 pounds of it in one night. And yes, they sleep during the day and get active at night. This one, what is it? That's a rhino for sure. Turns out, rhinos have quite poor eyesight. If you stay 100 feet away from them and don't move, they won't see you. But they do have a strong sense of smell, so this helps. Also, they love mud. They roll in it to get a protective layer that protects them from insects and keeps them cool. Who do you think this one is? It's a skunk. Did you know that they are immune to snake venoms and can even eat dangerous snakes? What about this cute animal? Do you recognize it? It's a harp seal. And this white furry coat makes them one of the most adorable animals on the planet. But the coat doesn't last long. Harp seals only have them until they're about 6 weeks old. What about this? What is it? It's a scorpion. These guys are actually older than the dinosaurs. Also, they can live a year without food, and they glow in the dark. What about this big guy? Do you know who he is? That's a moose. Did you know that they only live in places where there is snow in winter? Tell me what animal this one is. It's a wolf. Turns out they're born completely blind and deaf. Of course, later it changes. A grown wolf can hear what's going on 6 miles away. Also, they have around 200 million smell cells. What about this animal? Do you know what it is? Orangutan. They're very intelligent, and they even use tools like sticks and even self-made gloves out of leaves when dealing with thorny branches. I know you know this one well, so just hit it. This is a meerkat. They live in deserts, and they don't need water to live. They get all the needed moisture from the insects and other foods they eat. What about this one? Do you know its name? Tasmanian devil. Their bite is so hard that they can crush bones. They also like to scream loudly, and they do that to scare off other animals. And a fun fact, they store their fat in the tails. Next up, this one. Who is it? That's a squid, of course. Squids have 3 hearts. Also, they eat other squids that are smaller. Can you recognize this fish? It's an electric eel. Their shock is so powerful that it can knock off a horse. Also, they have poor eyesight, so they have to release a weak electric signal to navigate. What do you think this cute animal is? It's a red panda. Their diet is 97% bamboo. The other 3% include eggs, flowers, and small mammals. What do you think this is? It's a warthog. These guys are vegetarians, and even though they're strong, they prefer to run over fighting. Also, they enjoy being groomed, so they allow monkeys to do that. Okay, here's the next one for you. Does it look familiar? It's a porcupine. Their name actually means thorn pig. They're actually shy creatures and good swimmers. As for their quills, it's actually a myth that they can shoot them at predators. However, they're easily detached, so if you ever touch them, the quills are likely to stick to your hand. Who is this? It's a groundhog. They sleep all winter and are also impressive builders. Their homes can be as long as 60 feet. This animal must be quite easy to guess. Who is it? Of course, it's a platypus. Did you know that they are lethally venomous? But no worries, no case was yet recorded. Okay, what about this guy? This is an aardvark. He's actually the first word in an English dictionary. They live on the African continent, and they don't walk fully on their feet, just on their toes. Next up, this one with crazy eyes. What's your call? This one is called Eye, and it's native to Madagascar, but it doesn't have a good reputation there. Some native people believe that eyes bring bad luck. What about this cute guy right here? That's a prairie dog. Don't let their cute looks trick you. They're quite fierce. Also, they are very intelligent and have advanced vocabulary. Not only can they warn their buddies that a human is approaching, what about this bird? This is an okapi. They belong to the giraffe family and they only live in one country now, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Humans only discovered them a bit over 100 years ago, in 1901. No, it's not a Pokemon, it's an actual animal that exists in real life. What's it called? That's a nudibranch. It's a sea slug living in shallow waters all over the oceans. Another easy one for you. Who is it? Yes, it's a mink. Just like cats, they purr when they're happy. Do you know who this is? That's a margay. No one knows for sure how many of them there are globally. What's this cute animal? It's a pika. They're related to rabbits, but they're pikas. They actually have tails, but you can't see them because they're hidden under the fur. Last question, probably the hardest one. What is this? It's called a tardigrade. It's a microscopic animal that's been on Earth for 600 million years and have survived through the Earth's all big 5 extinction events and will likely survive any apocalypse. So, how many did you get right? Let me know in the comments.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
Ever wondered if you're a musical genius? With this test, you'll be able to figure out if you're the new Mozart or if you're in desperate need of some music lessons. Grab your headphones and good luck! For starters, we'll be measuring your pitch knowledge. If you're the type of person that sings out of tune to your favorite songs, you'll learn a lot from this. But if you're pitch perfect, well then just go join a musical already. You'll hear two notes played one after the other. Can you tell if the second note is lower or the same as the first one? If you said it was lower, then you're right. A couple more points and you could join Taylor Swift's crew on tour, huh? The next notes may be a little more high-pitched, but can you tell if the second note is higher or lower than the first? Did you say higher? Then you got it right. Okay, so this one will get a tiny bit harder. You'll hear two notes separated by a 5-second gap. Can you tell if they're the same or different? Yep, they're the same. I have to say, I like where this is going. For this next round, you'll hear a chord and a note. If you don't know the difference between the two, just keep in mind that a chord is made up of multiple notes. We'll need you to tell us if you think this chord and this note will go well together, or if they clash with each other. I'd say they go really well together, right? Congratulations, you made it through the first part of this test without giving up. That sure says something about you, huh? But before we move on to the second part, let's bring some sound-related trivia. What's the animal with one of the highest hearing capabilities? If you said it's a moth, then you got it right. These little ones can hear up to 300 kilohertz. And you've made it to the second round. This time, we're testing your producer skills. Like any good musical producer, you need to master harmonies. So, right now, you'll hear a scale and a note. We need you to assess if this scale and this note will match well together, or if they don't fit at all. Here it goes. I'd say they do match, right? Moving on, let's talk about melody. What is a melody, you might ask? Technically speaking, it's a combination of pitch and rhythm. Popularly speaking, it's the catchy tune that stays in your head for days on end. For this part, you'll hear a chord followed by a melody. Can you tell if both of them fit together, or if they sound totally terrible? Oh my gosh, I've never heard anything worse in my life. Just kidding, of course I have. But the answer is no, they don't fit together. Okay, this one is the same as before. Does this melody fit with the chord, or do they clash? Oh, much better now. They do fit together, right? Good for you! You've just completed the second part of this complex test. I'm hoping you got most of the answers right. What do you say? By your results so far, are you going to be the next Harry Styles or Olivia Rodrigo? I hope so. For this bonus round, we're going to talk about tonality. There are two main types of tonalities in Western music: major and minor. Major scales and chords sound open and lively, and they're used to convey happy emotions, while minor scales and chords sound closed and dark. An artist uses this tonality when they want you to feel a sadder emotion. So, for this round, you'll hear a chord followed by a short melody, just like we were doing before. But this time, I need you to tell me if this sample is a major or a minor tonality. Here it goes. Wait, is that a sample from an Adele song? It's definitely a minor tonality, right? It conveys a sadder, more intense feel to it. Okay, let's move on, shall we? Listen to this sample and tell us if you think it's a major or minor tonality. Ah, this sounds happy, so major it is. Since we're here testing for musical geniuses, this next round will get a lot tougher. You see, musical melodies have something musicians call dissonance and consonance. You can think of it as a question and an answer. This is an example of a question. While this would sound more like an answer. While one part of the melody goes up and the other seems to go down, right? Okay, geniuses, listen to this melody and tell us, does this sound like a question or an answer? Yikes, this was hard. If you said it sounded like an answer, then you nailed it, Beethoven. Let's try this one for a time. Can you tell if this melody sounds like it's resolved, like an answer, or unresolved, like a question? This was definitely unresolved. Hooray, you guys! I knew you wouldn't disappoint me. So we're moving on to the last section of our test. If you learned anything by now, you'll be able to get this next question right. For this part, you'll hear 7 consecutive ascending notes. Then, we'll pause for 5 seconds, and you will hear a single note. We need you to assess whether the last note we played is contained in the 7-note scale we played you. Got it? Here it goes. If you think it was contained in the 7-note scale, then you got it right. And you definitely have an amazing ear. Let's do this once more. Listen to the scale and assess whether the last note is contained in the scale. Again, it was contained by the 7-note scale. Since our ears are heated up, let's take this one further. For this part, you'll hear 2 4-note melodies. Your job is to identify whether the 4 notes used in the first melody are the same as the ones used in the second melody. Here's a tip. We won't change multiple notes. Only one. Okay, here it goes. If you identified that the last note was changed, then you got it right. Same thing here. Listen to both melodies and tell us if they're the same. or if one of the notes was changed. Yeah, you're so good! Both melodies were identical. Let's repeat the exercise we just did, but this time we're allowed to change more than one note in the second melody. Here it goes. So the second and fourth notes from the second melody were altered, right? I have to say, if you got those last ones right, you definitely are a musical genius. Before we head on to our last bonus round, let's count your points. If you got 90% or plus correctly, then you're definitely the next Mozart. If you got between 70 and 80%, then you have a sharp ear, but still, you need to work on it a bit more. If you scored between 50 and 60%, what can I say? Does anybody got a contact of a music teacher here? And if you scored below that, do the whole thing again, will you? And now, for the great finale, I give you the world's best ear test. Great musicians have to have great ears. So let's check where y'all are currently standing in the frequency spectrum. FYI, an average person can hear from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. Here's how this will work. We'll travel across and beyond the human sound spectrum and play some sound frequencies a human ear usually can't perceive. As soon as you begin to hear the sound, pause the video. Check the number on the screen. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! So what number did you get? If you didn't score so well, don't worry about it. Maybe in the next lifetime you'll come as a bat and have super hearing qualities. Just kidding. I hope you had fun doing it though.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.
Sophie is an art student. She's painting something really curious. It's a greenhouse. But there's a white house inside the greenhouse, and a red house inside the white house. And there are lots of cubs inside the red house. Can you guess what exactly Sophie is painting? She's painting a watermelon. It has a small white layer inside the green one. Also, its pulp is red and full of seeds. Sophie is walking down the school hallway and meets her best friend Paul. There's a huge stain of red paint on his stomach. Sophie asks him, "Paul, what happened here?" Paul replies, "I was walking to the classroom, but suddenly some mad students sneaked up behind me and splattered paint all over my back. And then he just teleported like a superhero." Sophie says, "Stop fooling around," and leaves. Why? Alex has a stain on his stomach, not his back. Therefore, it's a fake story. Sophie and her classmates are drawing a still life, but one of the students is an imposter. Can you guess who? This guy's work is nothing like what others are drawing, but it's not a crime. But this lady over here has a police badge in her pocket, which means she's probably working undercover. Sophie enters an auditorium. 3 of her 3 classmates are very busy. Julia is standing on a ladder and hanging pictures. Paul is carving a sculpture from marble. And Nina is filming Paul. Which one is in greater danger? Nina, the sculpture is cracked and it's about to fall on her. Sophie and Paul are making an experiment after classes. Both guys bring identical buckets with the same amount of water. But the temperature of Sophie's water is 25 degrees C, and the temperature of Paul's water is 25 degrees F. Simultaneously, they drop a coin into each bucket from the same height. The coins hit the water at exactly the same time. Can you guess which coin should touch the bottom first? The coin in Sophie's bucket. At 25 degrees C, water is liquid, while at 25 degrees F, it turns into ice. Sophie is walking down the pier. She spots a cute boat and decides to paint it. She asks the 2 guys standing nearby, "Who's the owner of this boat? Can I paint it?" Both guys like Sophie and want to impress her. So they both shout, "This is my boat. Can you help Sophie figure out the real owner?" There's a blue jacket on the chair in the boat that matches the pants of the guy on the left. So, he's the owner. Sophie has painted a beautiful picture, and the boat owner wants to buy it. He gives her a box with gemstones. All but 2 are blue, all but 2 are green, and all but 2 are red. How many gemstones are in the box? He gave Sophie a total of 3 gemstones, 1 blue, 1 green, and 1 red. Sophie visits Paul's house, and he offers her an apple that seems very delicious. She can't resist, but after taking a bite, Sophie finds a worm in the apple. Paul apologizes, but Sophie says, "Don't worry, it could be even worse." Can you guess what could be worse? Sophie could have found a half of worm. The next morning, Sophie enters the classroom. She sees Nina claiming that she had painted this portrait. Sophie gets furious and says, "You're a liar! It's my work!" Can you spot the real author? Nina signed this work in the right upper corner. But take a closer look at the lower left corner. We can still see the name Sophie under a layer of fresh paint. Therefore, Sophie painted this portrait. Sophie brings some of her recent works to an art gallery hoping to sell them. The dealer says, "Sorry, but we only sell antique drawings. They should be at least 300 years old." Sophie says, "Liar," and leaves. Can you guess why? Take a look at this painting. This elegant medieval lady has a sports car parked in her backyard. Sophie's brother Mike lives in the country with his wife. Sophie wants to visit them next weekend, but this week, Mike's wife is feeling very sick. Mike calls Sophie and says, "Sorry, we can't host you. My wife is sick. She might have appendicitis." Sophie replies, "This can't be true. I took your wife to the hospital 2 years ago myself, and she had her appendix removed." When diagnosed, Mike's wife was found to have appendicitis. Can you explain this mystery? It's possible because Mike had remarried and forgot to tell Sophie. Sophie is heading to the classroom and finds her art teacher, Mr. Wolf, unconscious on the floor. She takes him to the hospital. According to doctors, he has a severe allergic reaction. But Mr. Wolf insists that he hadn't eaten anything all day. Sophie interrogates everyone who was around Mr. Wolf that day. The cleaning lady says, "I wash the class in the morning. I only use organic and allergy-friendly products." Nina says, "I was painting vases in the classroom all day. Mr. Wolf was there too, but I didn't see him eating any food." And Paul says, "I saw Mr. Wolf in the library early in the morning. He was looking perfectly fine." Can you guess who caused Mr. Wolf's allergy? The cleaning lady. Although she used allergy-friendly products, she put the pencils in a jar with paint remover while cleaning his desk. Later that day, Mr. Wolf took one of these toxic pencils, chewed it, and got sick. Sophie returns back to the art school to prepare an exhibition. She's standing at the center of a ladder, preparing to hang a poster on the wall. She climbs up 6 steps, but suddenly the ladder begins to stagger, forcing her to come down 10 steps. Sophie asks Paul to hold the ladder and climbs 18 steps to the very top. Can you count the total number of steps on this ladder? Let's say that the middle step number is x. From the middle step, Sophie goes up 6 steps, which is x plus 6. Then she goes down 10 steps, and she's now at x minus 4. After that, Sophie goes up 18 steps, so she's now at x plus 14, or at the very top of the ladder. 14 steps from the top, plus 14 steps from the bottom, plus the middle step, and we get 29 steps. The art exhibition is going well. Hundreds of people came over to see it. Suddenly, someone cuts the power for a moment, and when it's back again, Sophie sees that the most expensive sculpture is missing. Can you help her find the thief? This elegant lady on the left. Her bag is looking full now, and it's hanging on the opposite shoulder. 3 art dealers approach Sophie during the exhibition to offer collaboration. Isabella shows her a picture of a beautiful villa on her phone and says, "Young lady, you must come to my art residence in Italy this summer. I'm ready to cover all your expenses." Sebastian says, "Darling, I'd love to buy 2 of your paintings for my private collection. Do you accept checks?" And Tina says, "I have a new book coming out this fall. Would you like to draw illustrations?" Only one of these deals is not fake. Can you help Sophie figure out which one? There are Hollywood Hills in the background of this villa, so it's definitely not in Italy. Therefore, Isabella is a liar. Sebastian acts like he's wealthy, but at the same time, he's trying to steal Tina's phone, so he's probably a scammer. Therefore, Sophie should accept Tina's offer. Sophie gets her first salary and goes to the jewelry shop to treat herself. The shop owner, Maya, complains, "There were several thefts in my shop this week." Sophie offers to help find the thief. First of all, she watches security camera videos. Very soon, she spots who is stealing the jewelry. Can you see him or her too? This lady is hiding the jewelry in her umbrella.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side. Can you find the one and only letter K here? Yay, that was easy. How about this one? Do you see an L here? There it is! Now, find the only G in this mix. Good job! One more. Now your task is to spot a P. Bingo! It's hiding between two T's. Do you see there's a T here? Got it! Let's try it with numbers. Can you see a 5 here? Well done! One of these Z's is a 7. You have 5 seconds to locate it. There it is. Back to letters. Can you find a Y among these X's? Knew it. Nothing can hide from you. Nice handwriting. Can you find the stranger here? It's a B. Hope you got it. All I see here is a bunch of B's. Can you find the odd one out? Ah, it was a P right here. So many E's. Just one of them doesn't belong here. Sure, it's this letter here, which is an F. I saw a few of those in school. All these letters are G's except for one. Can you find it? Excellent! It's down here. One of these emojis looks more surprised than others. You have 5 seconds to tell which one. It's this little guy right here. One of these athletes clearly stands out of the crowd. Go get him! Oh, just one of them is a guy. Can you hear all that buzz? One of these bees must do it its own way because it looks different. Yay! Found it! Would you go by steamboat or row your way to your destination? While you're thinking about it, find the odd one out here. This looks like a cruise liner, so it doesn't belong here. Are you hungry for some snacks? Here's like 100 bananas for you. The one that looks different from the others is the most delicious. Can you find it? Yep, so yummy. You're doing so well here, you deserve some fireworks in your honor. Can you tell which of the emojis is the odd one out? This one looks slightly less festive than the rest. A lot is going on here. Can you find the one and only emoji of a tool a painter can't go without? Thanks, you just helped him out. I'm getting hungry for some soup. Will you please find it in here? Yay, so good! This game won't end well unless you find the B and save everyone. Come here, little thing. Find somewhere else to play, please. It's the holiday season, and I really want to put a pink ribbon on that gift box. Will you help me find it? Thanks. Now my niece will love her gift. The heat makes everyone go crazy. Let's see if a pineapple can help them cool down. But first, you need to find it. There it is. Good job. Looks like it worked. Now, can you spot a bunny in this frozen landscape? Fantastic! You could be a detective. A wolf definitely doesn't belong among the reindeer. Will you find it and save them all? Yay! Now they can go on with their business. A polar bear got caught up in the ice and can't get home to the little bears. The rescue crew can't see it from the plane. Can you help them out? Thanks! You just saved a bear family. Same color palette, different diets. Let's find and get the white tiger out of this zebra herd. Perfect! Go home, tiger. A little seahorse lost its way home. Please help find it. There it is. Attention! A bear managed to get too close to cows. Only you can save them all. Great job! And the cows are thankful. Only 3% of people have eyes sharp enough to see the beetle in this picture. Are you one of them? In case you found it, congrats! You're so special. Can you spot a little crab here? There it is. Now look at these images and remember the first thing you see. It can tell a lot about you. If this one looks like a field with a river running through it to you, you're a well-balanced and realistic person. You have control over your emotions and always think twice before taking a decision or jumping to conclusions. If you saw a sad face here, you probably feel a little lonely at the moment. You need your people in your life to feel better and share everything with them. Try reaching out more when you're feeling low. I'm feeling some serious Egyptian vibes. What about you? If you clearly see two beautiful ladies here, you're a responsible person who always takes care of everyone's feelings. You never let a friend down or finish a task late than the due date. Try doing something fun every now and then to take off some of that responsibility. If the first thing your brain decodes here are two birds, there's an older person in your life who is an unquestionable authority to you. You always ask them for advice when you need it and follow it because you respect their opinion and wisdom. How many columns do you see here? If it's definitely 4, you're more of a creative person with the soul of an artist. You see beauty and meaning in everyday things and express yourself through painting, writing, acting, or the like. Logic isn't your strongest point, but your imagination fills up for it. If you see 3 columns, you're a logical person who has a talent for sciences. You enjoy following instructions and solving problems. You also like to plan things and follow that plan. You don't like surprises and can find a reasonable explanation for everything. Now, here's a tricky one. What do you see here? If it's two faces of older people to you, family is your biggest value in life. You can't spend a day without your loved ones, and their happiness is everything to you. If you don't have your own family yet, you can't wait to start it and give it your all. If you see a room filled with two musicians in it, your career is your top priority. It's important for you to express yourself and get the attention and respect of others. You like to try new things and never stop growing. In case you saw a vase here, it's important for you to surround yourself with beauty. You appreciate comfort, and it's not just about the interior. It's also your inner balancing energy that others can feel. You like making this world a better place. The animal you like best can tell a lot about you, if only it could talk. So choose your favorite and learn your superpower. Leopard. If you're fascinated with these beautiful wild cats, you probably dream of living an independent and authentic life. You feel great spending time by yourself. So when it comes to friendship and romantic relationships, you have very high standards. In public, you shine bright like a diamond with zero effort. You'd make a great stylist, designer, or business owner because you like competition and have a great aesthetic taste. Maybe you don't show it, but deep inside you love risk and adventures. Your superpower is your courage, grace, and natural magnetism. If you feel like your life currently lacks bright colors and new experiences, follow the example of your favorite animal. Chase your real dreams like a wild cat on the hunt, gracefully and patiently. Hare. People around you probably think that you're even cuter than a hare. Vulnerability is your superpower. Friends can always count on your warm hugs and support. You're probably a welcome guest at any party because you radiate coziness, peace, and acceptance. You do it effortlessly because you feel happy when you make others happy. Seems like you were born to help others, so you'd make a great doctor, psychologist, social worker, and so on. Some people may take advantage of your kindness, though, so maybe it's time to show your teeth and defend your boundaries, or learn to feel danger in advance and run away just like your favorite animal. Fox. If foxes are your favorite, you have mysterious charisma and charm that intrigues other people. You have a nose for psychological manipulation, which is why others have to earn your trust. If someone manages to become your friend, you cherish this person and build a special connection full of humor, passion, and encouragement. You like to surround yourself with people as unique as you are and enjoy discovering new talents. You'd make a good music producer, event manager, or art expert because of your natural firework vibes. You don't seek adventures on purpose, but it seems like adventures are seeking you. Some may say you get away with everything, but you just have the talent to see opportunities and grab them. Giraffe. Giraffe is the choice of an authentic and creative person. Looking at common things from unexpected angles is definitely your thing. You keep surprising people around you with your bright self-expression. They just can't figure you out. Boredom is your worst nightmare, so you probably have plenty of hobbies and interests that are different from the mainstream. You could become a wonderful inventor, traveler, and discoverer and bring great benefit to society with your new ideas. Unlike most people, you are not afraid to look ridiculous and funny. I also get that a lot. It lets you open doors to completely new possibilities. People feel grateful for your bravery and love you unconditionally. Wolf. If you like this animal, your superpower is your determination and high intelligence. Unlike most people, you aren't afraid to face your dark side. You're aware of your weaknesses and accept that life ain't all sunshine and rainbows. These qualities make you a faithful and mature partner in friendship and romantic relationships. You never pretend everything is fine when it's not. Overcoming difficulties in life with dignity is your natural talent. Wolf vibes can help you develop leadership skills and become a great boss or influencer. Bear. You radiate good health and vitality and share it generously with others. People like to come to you for advice, unconditional love, and warm conversation. Sometimes you can lose balance and become too generous, which may result in overeating, overreacting, and even overprotecting others. But if you seek harmony in life, your personality becomes strong-willed, thoughtful, and independent. Your grounded energy and dedication are perfect for developing family businesses, startups, and construction industry. Just like bears, you have active periods when you feel energized and passive moments when you need to hide in your den, get some sleep, and recharge. Bear people usually become great parents because they're willing to take care of loved ones and protect them. Raccoon. Curious and sneaky. You probably know all the secrets of the people around you, but nobody knows yours. You just cannot relax until you solve all the riddles. That's why your life is a detective story, and you are the main investigator. Some people may think that you are too restless, but you just love this drive and passion. Your personality is perfect for jobs where people investigate mysteries and defend human rights. When it comes to relationships, people like that you are genuinely interested in them. But sometimes your behavior can be distrustful and overprotective. Make sure to remember that every person has boundaries. Horse. Your superpower is your gorgeous hair. Just joking. It's in your wisdom and ability to go with the flow. You perceive life as a journey through a wild stream of impressions. Some of them make you happy, some make you sad. But the most important thing for you is your freedom and self-reliance. That's why you tend to move forward and avoid any regrets or attachments that can slow down your course. Improvisation and appreciation of simple pleasures are your strengths. You treat the universe as your best friend, and it pays back. Your intuition often puts you in the right place at the right time. You meet great people and great opportunities on the way, so you don't have to hesitate too much with planning in advance. A career in the field of tourism or hotel business and all sorts of travel adventures is a good choice for your dynamic spirit. Snake. If you are fascinated by snakes, you're probably a highly sensitive, wise, and conscious person. Your superpower is the ability to feel the wind of change. Just like your favorite animal changes its skin, you regularly transform your personality and share updates with other people. Talking to you has a healing effect and inspires others. After talking to you, your friends often change their lives very rapidly. This is because you can notice details that most people ignore and open doors to a deeper understanding of life. Snake people can be great life coaches, psychologists, and financial analysts. You also have a great sense of humor and good taste in art and music. Since reading other people's emotions is your natural talent, you know how to spice up any party with a nice joke and good music. Hedgehog. Thick skin and confidence are your superpowers. You deal with difficulties with patience and passion like a warrior. Feeling sorry for yourself and complaining is definitely not your thing. It's important for you to always keep your word and never give up. That's why friends and family perceive you as an island of stability in this chaotic, unpredictable world. You'd make a good professional athlete, pilot, astronaut, or company president. Your attitude may lead you to overwork. You don't have to carry the world upon your shoulders all the time. Just stay in touch with your kind and gentle soul that is hidden under your armor, and don't be afraid to show it to other people. Hedgehogs are nocturnal creatures, and you probably feel more energized and inspired in the nighttime. So make good use of this time. Monkey. If your choice is a monkey, you have a natural desire to explore the world and move through life with joy and laughter. Optimism is your second name. Even the saddest person on the planet will begin to smile next to you. Wherever you go, you uplift other people. Jobs in the field of show business and entertainment can be the perfect choice for you. When you walk into the room, simple pleasures like dancing, playing games, or just chilling turn into legendary adventures. Maybe sometimes it bothers you that people don't take you seriously. Remember, the ability to make someone's heart melt is the biggest superpower in the world. Whale. Like your favorite animal, you perceive the world as a flow of waves and feel an intuitive connection with everything. Whether it's a stranger or a childhood friend, you love and value every person equally. You probably have a refined taste in music, and you could be a good composer or singer. When it comes to socializing, you are not the most talkative person in the world, but you create a special atmosphere that inspires people to engage in self-development and see beyond the horizon. Perhaps you might feel lonely because it is difficult for others to understand your inner world. But be sure that one day you'll meet your tribe and no words will be needed.